You know, technology like our world is ever changing. Once was closed off by big billion-dollar corporations, have now been opened up by awesome communities and the price of free. You know, for 15 years plus, I've been involved in technology, administrating systems from Windows to OS X. But now I've heard of something new, something awesome, something open, and something free, and it's called Linux. My name is Chase Nunes, and I'm switching to Linux.
This episode of How To Linux is brought to you by Linux Academy. Go to linuxacademy.com/howto and participate in the Summer of Learning. Get a 33% discount for the next 3 months. What is Linux Academy? It is the place you can go at your own pace to take your Linux skills up to the next level. They've got step-by-step video courses. Build and rebuild your servers in seconds using any distribution you want, and they'll customize the materials to match your distribution. You can keep track of your progress. And of course, they've got study guides that you can download. And you know what else? It comes with its own server built in. As the courses require, Linux Academy will spin up a virtual server. It's the Summer of Learning over at linuxacademy.com/howto.
All right, so here's the deal, you guys. I'm making the jump to Linux. And first, there are many different flavors of it, right? There's Ubuntu, there's Arch, there's these other ones I haven't even heard of. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna pick. There is somebody I can call on. There's somebody that I know that can really help me. And I'm gonna head there now. I think he's gonna be the one to help.
Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chase.
Hey Chris. By the way, this is Chris Fisher. He
Hey, guys.
is the host of the world's largest Linux podcast called the Linux Action Show.
Boom.
How long have you been doing that?
It's like going on 8 years now.
Totally awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you haven't checked that out yet, check it out.
Linux Action Show, you're making me blush.
I know, but that's not why I'm here.
Okay, why are you here, Chase?
I'm here because I'm having issues again.
Oh no,
Yeah.
More registry problems?
Dude, I'm getting these weird network issues.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know,
And you try to figure out and install a new driver. It's
Well,
nuts.
yeah.
I'm getting tired of it.
I understand.
And not only that, you know, I'm always trying to improve my skills when it comes to Linux.
Right.
Make myself more employable.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm thinking?
What? Chase, where are you going with this, Chase?
I'm making the switch to Linux, man.
What, Chase?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Is
do
that
it.
why you're doing a how-to Linux show?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on the laptop because I
Okay.
figure this is a great transitional tool for me. I use my laptop everywhere, so I'll get really engrossed into it.
Okay.
But I have a few reservations.
Okay.
Just a few.
All right.
First off, my applications. You know, I use Office a lot. I use a lot of financial apps. You know,
Okay.
things like that. So
I don't think that should be a problem.
Shouldn't be an issue?
I think we can take care of
okay,
that.
you know, like printers and other weird.
I don't think that should be a problem. You have that brother printer, right?
I do.
Same printer I have.
Sweet.
Shouldn't be a problem.
All right. Next thing.
Yeah.
All my docs. You know, am I going to be able to move those over quite easily? Are they going to be compatible?
That's going to depend. Now, I like to recommend that people look at their options here because this could be also a good time to consider backing up.
Okay. Yeah, of
Do you
course.
use Dropbox?
Yeah, Dropbox is great. You guys know Dropbox. Use Dropbox or something else like it.
Yep.
Back up your data.
Yeah, and even if you're not using Dropbox, you can check out BitTorrent Sync or SyncThing. But since you are using Dropbox, Dropbox makes a client available for Linux. You'll have no problem. You install that, all your documents will pull down.
All right, that's easy. Now, here's a big one for me personally. You guys know I'm a big gamer. All right. And there's a lot of games, especially on Steam, that I'm like.
Have you been
is it gonna-
following the Steam development on Linux?
A little bit, but
It's actually getting pretty
Is-
good,
is
and
it better
every
now?
week they add more games.
Wow.
Not everything's there. Like there's not a one-to-one Windows equivalent for all of it.
Right.
But a lot of good games.
Well, a
are
lot of
there.
my major games that I play, like say like Counter-Strike.
Definitely.
Or so that should work.
A few of my favorite games are available for Linux now, and they're bringing more over all the time, so we can check that out. I think you'll be surprised.
So here's the most sensitive thing I know is which Linux do I pick, right? Which because I know there's like loads of
I
different
know.
versions.
And you and I have talked about this before, and I know this is something that's kind of gotten you hung up in the past.
Well, I think I picked one, and the reason why I think I'm going with Ubuntu. Is that how you say it? Ubuntu?
Ubuntu? Yeah.
The reason why I picked Ubuntu is, from all I see, it's got a lot of support behind it. There's a big community behind it, but moreover, it's easy to kind of ease yourself into it. Is
That's
that
a good
choice?
distro, yeah. In fact, Ubuntu 14.04 just came out a little bit ago. It's a long-term support, so it's going to get patches for years.
Right.
It's well supported for Steam. In fact, that's Valve's targeted Linux desktop. And you know, to be honest with you, Chase, you can start with Ubuntu, see what you think, and then as we try out different projects on HowTo Linux, we'll try out different distributions. You can try out a bunch of different stuff, see what you like. It took me years to find a Linux distribution I really love.
And I bet you still try different ones, right?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. It's part of the fun, to be honest with you.
So
I think one of the advantages over Windows.
So here's the thing. I think I got it worked out. I know what I want to do. But we got to start baby steps, right? We got to start with actually getting that distribution going, right?
Yeah, and I know in the past when you've talked about it, you said you downloaded an ISO image.
I burned it to CD.
Yeah, you can actually still do that.
You can still do that.
I'm retro. Sometimes I like to do that.
Right.
But there's much easier ways now. I'd love to show it to you.
Well, let's take a look.
All right, Chase. Well, since we've just picked Ubuntu, the easiest way for you to get started is to go download a little tool. You have a thumbstick, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I have lots of. I
You
have
is
lots
it,
of them.
Is it at least like 8 gigs?
Yeah. It
Okay.
is, Yeah.
Then go get Rufus. We'll have
All
a
right.
link to this in the show notes. It's RUFUS. And this is a tool that lets you write CD images to USB thumbsticks. So then once you get Rufus, go over to ubuntu.com/download and pull down that ISO image. Okay.
Now, do I grab the full ISO image?
Well, here, I'll show
'cause I
you.
know there's different ones on
You
there.
have they have a couple of different versions of Ubuntu. You're going to get Ubuntu Desktop, right?
Right.
And because we're going to throw this on a 64-bit machine, you could choose 32-bit if you had it on an older computer, but we'll go 64-bit for you. And you'll also notice right here, they encourage you to donate. If you're not sure if you're all in, maybe next time you download Ubuntu, if you decide you like it, you donate. But if you're not sure yet, there's actually a little Not Now button. You click that, it skips all the payment stuff, and then here in a few seconds, the download will auto start.
Now, do I get anything for donating, like additional support or anything like that?
No,
Or-
but one of the things that's kind of cool about it is it's kind of humble bundle style where you could choose, you could slide. So like, I want most of my
see.
funding to go to the desktop.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So and then if you're not really big on say the
I'm not
Ubuntu
saying
for
I'm
phone.
I'm not outside of doing it in the future. It's just one of those things where right now it's so new to me. I don't,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
I don't
so
know
you can
what
come
the-
back later.
Right. Okay.
All right, so now we've got Rufus downloaded. I downloaded it earlier before we started here on your machine. And once you run Rufus, you start it up, point it at the USB thumbstick. So we already named ours Install Ubuntu, and this is our E drive right here.
Got it. Yeah.
Make sure the file system is FAT32, not NTFS.
Yeah, I know that's habit.
Yeah. Well, and it's just with the default. You know.
Well,
it'll
yeah. I
just do
mean,
that.
here it is. We're on Windows. I mean,
Yeah.
why wouldn't it be?
So then you choose your ISO, which in our case, ours is still downloading, so we can't choose it yet. But you would choose your ISO, and then Bob's your Uncle Chase. You'd be ready to go. But
So this is the way of doing it. If I obviously on this laptop I don't have a burner,
right.
so this is the only way for me to do it.
Well, I think it's faster too, and in your
Yeah.
case, because you've got USB 3, it really smokes. It's
Oh, yeah.
super fast to install from the USB
Yeah, it's
3.
great for file transfer. It's awesome.
So I've chosen right here, create a bootable disk using ISO image, and then once the download finishes, you would just choose that. Click start, it will write it, and then next we reboot and we install Ubuntu. So when your machine, once your machine boots up, be sure you hit whatever key it is on your keyboard.
Yeah,
to,
to select my boot drive,
Yeah.
and then I use my USB drive,
Yep.
right?
And
'Cause,
then-
yeah, I've done that before many times.
Yeah, and then the Ubuntu, and what's great is you get to go inside an Ubuntu live environment and make sure it runs okay on your computer, and you get to make sure that your video card works and your network card works before you ever even write anything to the hard drive.
So I don't write anything to the hard drive. It's a live thing, so it doesn't make any changes
Just
to
a
my,
live, yep,
my
it's
Windows
just running,
files.
and on you'll see running off a USB 3 thumbstick. It'll run so fast you'd be happy just running off that all the time.
Well, I was going to ask. I mean, do I feel a performance hit running non-natively though, like that?
It is essentially native. It's just the storage is on the USB stick. There's no emulation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, but I can't write to the hard drives or anything, right? When you're doing this method,
You
Or-
could. I mean, you could format the hard drives, but it gives you a chance to try it out.
That's cool.
Before you write anything to the hard drive.
Got it. Okay,
Should we give it a go?
let's do it, man.
This is your Ubuntu desktop right here. This is your live environment.
All right.
And you see right there's the icon to install Ubuntu 14.04. Just double click that.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna get. This is what I get first, obviously. This is what everybody gets first, essentially.
Yeah, you can. You chose the try it option, so it took you to the desktop.
Right.
If you did the go right to installer, it would take you right to this. It wouldn't load the full desktop.
I
up.
see. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
So you can go through it. It's pretty standard. Prompts. You want to do English, obviously.
English, right? Okay.
Because that's what you speak
Last time I checked.
most of.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
All right.
And now here is just checking to make sure your drive has enough space.
Okay.
One of the nice things you can do is download updates while installing, but since we're going to go kind of quick today, we don't really need to do that, but that's kind of neat, right?
Yeah.
But do check that install third-party software. That way all your MP3 collection and stuff works.
Oh.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to do that manually.
Yeah,
Like
you
after
gotta-
the fact.
Yep, you got to go back and add it.
All right. So now it's going, and then this is what probably the point of no return. it
Right
looks
here,
like.
yeah. So since this is going to be one of many installations, you can go pretty simple here, but you would traditionally want to go in here. Why don't you click something else just so you can kind of see what it looks like? Oh, no, I mean the
something
option
else.
there's something else. Yeah, click that and then go to continue.
it'll bring up the drive partitioner here. So this is where you could lay out a drive partition scheme. Do you want to do it by hand?
Well, I typically don't.
Okay.
I mean, for personal.
All right. Well, then hit back.
Okay. All right.
And then just choose that top erase install, and it will do all the partitioning for you.
Lately, I've been hearing a lot about encryption. Do I do? What if I want to do encryption? Is that dangerous to do here, or should I do that after? Or can you do that after?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah, or you could turn it on there. You could do it after the fact.
I'll do it after the fact.
Yeah, I usually go. I can show you a method to do it where you do it folder by folder
Oh, okay.
instead of the whole.
Well, I can see that in the future then for sure. So, all right. So I'm gonna hit install now, and then this is what? This is where, just like Windows that I
Right.
used to know, it just goes.
The Windows
it just
that
works.
I used to know. So first, tell it where you're at.
All right.
What's kind of cool is while you're going through this, that's fine.
All right. Well, Los Angeles is
Yeah,
in our time
it's
zone.
kind of your best bet.
All right.
It'll actually start installing it once you answer a few more questions. It'll actually start installing it.
Wow,
In the
look at all the
background.
different keyboard.
You could go crazy.
Wow.
You could go crazy. I don't know. I don't think that'd be a very good idea though.
No, I'm going to be very good here. So this is where I type in my info.
Yeah.
So I'll just type in my name,
Chase.
and I'm just going to go with Chase, right?
Yeah, that's fine. And
all
put your
right.
password in there.
So
Put a good password. Now, do you want it to log in automatically for you, or do you like to have it? Do you like to put your password?
I'm okay with it logging in automatically.
All right.
And then I usually use the screensaver or something.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a real short password for
The install.
the install. I
For
can
the
go back
demo
and change
install.
it.
Okay, do continue here.
All right.
And so now you see it's actually been installing in the background that whole time.
What?
So it's actually gotten pretty far. And
That's pretty crazy.
yeah, it's nice. It makes it go. It makes it feel like it goes quicker because
So it's tricking me.
yeah they're
It's a
they're using
trick.
that time wisely. You could say you can expand down here too. If you like me, I like to get all kind of crazy and see what it's doing. So you can get a little
Oh
bit.
wow, that's
Get a
so you
little-
actually see the console.
Little geeky console stuff right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And you can actually jump around to other consoles and check to see what it's doing. The other thing that's nice about being able to expand that out is if you had checked that, go out and get updates, you could be like, well, why is the installer hanging up right here? And
you can
could,
actually see what's going on.
yeah, you would expand that and go, oh, it's pulling down a package right now. It's a
Oh.
big download.
I wish
So
Windows actually did that. I mean, there's been many times where I'm installing Windows and I feel like it's stopped for some reason.
Mhm.
And
You're like, I think that progress bar is lying to me.
right. Or it starts to go forward and then it comes backwards.
Yeah. And then of course they have like all these little slide things. And what's kind of neat about this is while your system is installing, you could actually say launch Firefox and go browse the web. You could play
that's
solitaire.
a little ironic to me that you can be doing other things in the background. Yeah, there it is. There's freaking
There's Firefox.
Firefox right
So
there.
you could go read
That's
your Twitter
crazy.
feed while your operating system is installing, or go catch up on
Are
email.
you trying to tell me I should check out the Linux Action Show while I'm installing Linux?
You could watch, or you could catch the back episodes of HowTo Linux if this is far in the future.
Maybe I'll throw up Unfilter on there. I'm not sure.
You could.
I could
Or
do that.
Catch a little Tech Talk today because there's a new show every single day.
Oh, I should do that. That's Monday through Thursday, right?
That is.
Yeah, shameless
JBLive.tv.
plug. That's all right.
So it's kind of a whole different experience because in Windows when you're installing,
Yeah.
it's a full screen takeover. That's all you can do. In this, you could see there's Office, there's LibreOffice.
But that's
installed.
if I do the demo first, right? If
Right,
I
the live CD. If you just go right
if
to
I went to
install it.
install, then I wouldn't be able to surf the web and stuff.
Yeah.
Does it go slower since I am doing this demo and installing? Would it go faster if I just did the straight install?
No, not really. The only thing that might slow it down is when you're browsing the web and stuff.
I see.
Because that does sort of take on adds additional. So I don't know if you just noticed right there, but it was actually just saying it's pulling down some of the packages. So it is pulling down some packages right now and installing them.
I see.
And now it's running the
And does
post-installation
it do
scripts.
that because it's the most current versions of those packages? Is that how it stays more current?
Likely. There's still probably going to likely be updates. But
Oh, okay.
So in this case, you can tell to pull down all updates or security updates or
Right.
just get the codecs. And then there's some distributions that we'll show you in the future
Right.
that when you download it, it doesn't have any packages on its CD. It pulls everything off the web. So it's every single package is the absolute latest. There's there's a whole range of options.
Now, I do see that's configuring hardware. It's doing all these things.
Yep.
This is essentially drivers, right? This is stuff that it's installing that I don't have to worry about?
Well, so in Linux, you can install drivers.
All right.
But traditionally, this is going to sound crazy, but all of the hardware support is built into the Linux kernel. So
That feels weird to me.
So you kind of know, like when you install OS 10 on a Mac,
Yeah.
you always know that Mac hardware is supported because OS 10 has all the drivers.
Yeah, they're handling it.
Yeah, so in this scenario here, the Linux kernel has the NVIDIA driver, or a close enough, actually. That's one case where it doesn't. But it has all of your drivers built in for like your network, your all of the individual components, USB bus,
Right.
all that stuff is built into the Linux kernel. So when it boots, it automatically has support for that. Then you can install additional drivers. Like NVIDIA is a good example. When we're done,
Yeah, I was going to say.
we'll
yeah.
install the NVIDIA driver for you, and then you can you get 3D support. But you could also, in some cases, like the Intel video cards, the Intel video card, because of work from Intel, they've contributed code because the Linux kernel is open source. They've contributed code for the driver to the Linux kernel right from Intel.
Because one thing I know that I have to do periodically for my desktop machine is update the chipset drivers.
Right.
And I always do that. I always check on them maybe every quarter, every 3 months or so. I won't have to do that here.
No, in almost every case, Linux kernel updates will do that. And here's a cool thing, too. It's like I mentioned the Intel support.
Yeah.
The Intel developers have already been working on Broadwell support. The new CPU from Intel is not even out yet. They're already putting Broadwell code into the existing Linux kernel that's being developed right now.
Wow.
So because a lot of these guys now make money off of Linux in some capacity, it's actually in their business interest to just help build that support in. And when they don't, the open source community often picks up and fills in the gaps, like in the case of NVIDIA's open source driver.
I see. Now, one thing I'm noticing here, I don't have an AMD system. This is an Intel system. Why is it saying AMD 64 there?
AMD 64 is in reference to the architecture. So the 64-bit architecture that we use on desktop computers today actually came up by Intel or by AMD, and Intel just sort of went with it.
Oh.
So AMD this is originally the AMD 64 spec. So there you go, Chase. Your installation is done. Now you could continue just using the live environment, like if you were in the middle of writing an email, or you can click restart, and we would reboot into your new Ubuntu desktop.
Well, geez, man. Well, I'm ready to get this rolling. Might as well get it started right now. So I'm going to click that restart right now.
All right, Chris, I got to say thanks for showing us and showing everybody at
Absolutely.
home how to install Ubuntu on a USB disk and throw it on your machine.
How cool is Rufus?
Dude, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, you can use it
Real
for all
slick
kinds of
and easy.
stuff. It's a great tool.
So, Chris, you are a doctor here.
Ask the doctor, Chase. What is it? What's on your mind?
I'm not going to ask you that question, but I need to know the prescription. What's my prescription for the next week?
What's next?
Yeah, what's next?
All right, take this laptop home.
Taking it.
Play with it over the week.
I'm taking it home to my laptop.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's easy prescription, right?
Easy.
I'm the kind of doctor.
But what am I doing with it?
Play with it. Try
All right.
different stuff. Just like you would own and customize a brand new Windows box.
Right.
Try stuff out. You are in a good position because
Yeah.
you've got a desktop at home. So if
I
worst
have an
case,
issue, yeah.
If you break something, which you probably won't, but if you did, you've got a safety net.
Yeah.
So try stuff out. Load different apps on
Got
there.
it.
See how it goes. Then come back to me with a whole bunch of questions, and we'll start solving problems for you.
Dude, that sounds easy. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to mess with it. You know I'm a gamer, so I'm probably going to throw that Steam on there
Do
we
it.
talked about
Do it.
in the earlier show. Now, here's the deal, you guys. As you can tell, this is the biggest show we've ever done here on Jupiter Broadcasting.
That's
you know,
for sure.
First off, I got Chris here helping me out
I'm
all
a
the
doctor.
way.
You know
all
I'm
the doctor.
expensive.
But now we need your help.
That's right.
And that's where patreon.com/Linux.
Boom, there it is, patreon.com/Linux. That's a great URL. And
Yeah.
with this show, Jupiter Broadcasting is launching on its most ambitious project ever.
Huge.
We have a staff of producers, we have on-location shoots we're going to do, and we have months of content planned.
Yes.
So we really would love to have our audience support this show because we really want to create a living show that goes out and documents cool and awesome things you can do with Linux, and maybe eventually do it multiple times a week.
You know, we got so many cool things in store. I cannot wait to share them with you.
Yeah.
We've already done some stuff ahead of time. You're going to love it.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome.
Really excited, so you can help keep our show going and even grow and expand what it covers by going to patreon.com/Linux. We will scale the scope of this show as your support scales.
Now,
Pretty
you can-
one-to-one.
You can also follow us on the Twitter at
What?
HowTo Linux. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd actually be a
Get all
really
that.
good way to
It's
give
real
us
easy.
some topic suggestions.
Yeah.
If there's things you'd like to see us
Tweet
do
us.
on the show, tweet it at us, HowToLinux on tweeters.
You can also email us, howtolinux@jupiterbroadcasting.com.
Absolutely.
You can give us your suggestions. If you thought I made a weird mistake or something that I missed, maybe a nice helpful tip. 'Cause
Or if-
remember, I'm a noob.
Or if you know of another tool like Rufus that you like even more, send it in to us, either at the @HowToLinux account on Twitter or at that email address.
I just want to say a big thanks to this guy right here, Mr. Chris Fisher. This guy is awesome.
Oh, stop.
I want to say big thanks to our producer, Eric. Eric Swatchin, thank you, buddy. You rock. And also to our awesome community, all you guys who submitted your ideas to Last and Linux Unplugged on this awesome show. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll see you guys again next week.